year, it was a different department, so I did go and I spoke with those departments, and
It's
so.
like whack-a-mole, you know.
Yeah, another one pops up.
Yeah, and then there were a few, some of, like, for example, on our side, the library, they send us their bill in June, and they date it June. So that's a large expenditure, and so that's something the auditors take a look at. And so that one I can speak with Lisa and say, look, can you just wait until after July 1st to issue me an invoice? That way we'd have the opportunity to encumber our purchase orders on the first of the year. So this one's going to be an ongoing struggle. We'll see, how we are at the end of the year on this one. Then the Education Grants Fund. There's an issue with, at the end of the year, getting the receivables and payables recorded properly. So I had the auditors actually go over and meet with the Board of Ed to go over this with them, so that they would understand what needs to be accomplished, so that we can eliminate this comment as well. So I figure that by the end of July, they should be able to give me that information, like at the end of the school year, give them the opportunity to close the books on that fund, and then provide me with the payables and receivables. Then the last comment would be for the town and the Board of Education to share a general ledger system. We have our accounting software, they have their accounting software, and so if we both use the same accounting software, it would really create some better efficiencies, and it would allow us to do better reporting. So as you'll notice, I would expect for that project to be completed by June of 2016, because we're going to have to, what I envision us doing in the next 6 to 9 months is coming up with different software options available to us, getting the vendors to come in and let us look at demos, so we can kind of get an idea of what's out there, and then formulate, get some kind of estimates and formulate a plan. So
we can start putting money towards it.
this would be a little bit longer term. Well, since we've been using the acquisition plan, I've discussed this with Mr. Formica for the vehicles, and it's been very successful for us.
Mhm.
Perhaps we could implement a new accounting software into that program.
But if I may just add, up at the state level, excuse me,
Sure.
that they are contemplating a statute that would require towns to have uniform chart of accounts and match the state facility. So it would make sense to get through this session, perhaps the next session, and see what, and if they do that, and if they do, then that we would tailor what we're doing to accommodate that at the same time, so that we wouldn't do something first and then have to change it
That would be
if the
good.
laws change. So we're going to kind of keep a close eye on that law. That law came up in the last session. Proposed law came up, but it didn't make it through. So they're
Right.
working on it. I think that's an initiative that either the comptroller is looking for or somebody is looking to do it. So I think that'll probably pass shortly. So
Mhm.
Who will you work with from the Board of Ed on this issue?
That would be Don
Rob-
Meltebacher.
Don, okay. How are you, first I'd like to say that this is a nice little summary of everything, and Targeted did a nice job. Appreciate that. This is written out nice and clearly for us. Are you comfortable with making these happen on these dates? Do you have time to do all that?
Well, I'm going to work real hard to
Well, yeah.
get it accomplished, sure.
So, okay, it's achievable with everything else you're doing.
Yeah, because most of it's not really that difficult. so.
Okay. Great, thanks.
On, any other questions before I ask one?
Yes, I have a few questions regarding the accounting software upgrade. So you and Don will work on this, or will you require external resources to help you evaluate software packages, or
Well,
how do you?
first, I think we need to work together so we can develop what we believe the best overall big picture plan would be. And that is something that I did speak to Don about, is using, most audit firms have a team that could come in and offer consulting assistance when you're doing software conversion. So that's certainly something that we will look at and consider.
including the selection process? You're planning on bringing in outside resources to help with the selection?
Well, at this point, I don't have all
Oh,
the
yeah.
answers to the questions.
Okay.
Because this is like, we're just gonna start looking at this. So those are
Right.
items that we're going to definitely be considering as we go through these processes. I would expect that if we're gonna use external consulting, there'll be like different phases of that. You know, like phase one would be, you know, maybe assisting with an RFP. Phase two would be maybe evaluating you know, your responses, and then a phase three would be assistance in the actual conversion implementation. So you would have different pricing points for each of those items, and then we would have to look at that and see, well, does it make sense for us to use these external resources, or do we think, you know, we can do okay on our own? But that's gonna be part of our overall discussions.
Okay, I know this has been, you know, this has been on the table for a couple of years. And my question would be, has anybody ever determined the likelihood of the Board of Ed coming onto your existing accounting software system? Is that possible? Is that a possible solution? Or are you looking at new packages altogether?
Yeah, I would expect we would be looking at a new package. I'm not sure if the package that we currently use is suitable for Board of Education.
I guess that was my question. Is that an option? Because that, to me, would seem like it would be a lot less expensive if they could jump on board with your system.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, our software isn't the newest software, or actually the best software. So, we're just starting to look at this, so we're gonna have to discuss all of those.
It's a good question, though,
options.
Camille.
Yeah.
It's worth looking at, or even asking the question.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Back on school lunch fund, under the recommendation where it says management and the board should also perform a financial analysis of the fund as it should be a self-supporting activity. Is that Board of Education, Board of Finance? I would assume it's the Board of Ed.
Right, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then the other thing that I would point out to you is in the federal and state financial compliance reports. If you look on page 6 in that report, so that, it's at the bottom part, which is item number 3, federal award findings and questioned costs. What happened in that grant is during the fiscal year, the Board of Education requested more money than they needed, and thus had more money, than they should have had in the fund at the end of the year. And that, the way it's supposed to work is you just request the money that you need. So they really didn't have a good monitoring process in place, but as a result of this, at the point in time that it was noted, they did develop a process, so, and it's noted in the statement. So that was the other issue that there was, but that's gonna be something that's ongoing for them, to keep an eye on that, because if you let that happen, you risk losing the funding. So they
Right.
really do not wanna be in that position. So I would expect that will not be a reoccurring problem. But that item isn't included on the other list that I gave you, but it is recorded here, and it gives the corrective action.
So that'll be reflected in their budget somehow?
No.
No?
No.
Did they have?
No, this is federal, and this is a separate fund,
Mhm.
federal and state grant awards, and that's where the funds were.
But they're gonna come to us with a line item for special education, right? Is this special education? What was this? Yeah, special education grant fund.
But,
Oh,
but that's not general fund
I knew
funds,
that.
that's
I
a
was
grant.
just
Okay,
testing you
okay.
to see if you knew that. Well
Okay.
done, you, Anna.
Okay, all right, so I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. Okay, so
Thank
we're
you.
good.
Any other questions for the Finance Director? Okay, moving on, special appropriations for the Smith Harris curator. Mr. First Selectman?
Mr. Chairman, yes, we will, again, you've seen this before. This is the continuation of a successful program where the Friends donated money to the Smith-Harris Commission for the purposes of hiring a curator. The curator's been able to do some good work. We came to you, I think, a couple of times in two 1250s for this. Now we have a $2,500, is that right? What is the number? $2,500, thank you. Gift from the Friends to the commission that must be appropriated in and out. So they're asking for your approval to do that, to continue the program. They do have a good program coming up that they're doing little plays, they're selling them out, they're doing all kinds of good things up there as a result of this, and it's really helped out the commission. By the way, there are still 2 vacancies on the Smith-Harris Commission. If we know
I know.
anybody who may want to participate, we're looking particularly for young people that may want to get involved and begin to learn about the heritage and history of our town. So tonight, we're asking to appropriate this money, and this does require a town meeting as it exceeds 10% of their budget.
Move to approve a special appropriation in the amount of $2,500 in the 2013/14 budget as follows. $2,320 in Department 134 Smith-Harris account to 01-01-134-100-415 Museum Curator, and $180 to account 01-01-114-100-121 for FICA and Medicaid.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any discussion?
No, I just know that this is a really good program, and I'm glad this is happening. I've sat on the Smith-Harris board for 3 years, and it's been hard, and this is a really great idea that
It's
they're
helping the
doing.
commission
Yeah,
out a lot.
yeah.
No further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Thank you. Committee appointments, Board of Finance member. Pension Committee.
The pension committee currently exists, if you're asking me, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ray Hart is a member of the committee, and Beth is a member of the committee. So I didn't know, because it was a new term, whether you want to talk about that. Beth wants to continue as a member of the Board of Finance. The roles were kind of reversed. Ray was a member of the Board of Finance, Beth was a member of the public. So Ray is interested in staying on, so he will bring that perspective to it, but I still think we should have a Board of Finance member to the pension committee. We've done very well with that, with moving into the investment arm of that, generating money. We've grown it from $8 million to $14 million over the last 3 years, or 4 years. So it's been a good program, good oversight, good citizen participation. And so you have that. And the Capital Improvement Committee, Steve Harney is the Board of Finance representative to the Capital Improvement Committee. And again, as you're in a new term, I didn't know if you wanted an opportunity to do whatever, but either way works, and everybody's welcome to attend any of those meetings should you have nothing to do during the day and want to come down and listen to some good conversation.
I would like to nominate Beth Hogan to remain on the Pension Committee, this time as the Board of Finance member.
Thank you.
I'd like to second that, and I'd also like, I don't know if this is the right forum, but I'd like to nominate Ray as well. Oh, you're just gonna do the Board of Finance member first?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second that. Second, Beth.
Motion made and second. Any discussion?
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None?
Ray will-
5-0.
Ray will be appointed
Can we
by
do-
my
oh, you
office
have
as
to
a
do it
member
by-
at large.
got it.
Yeah,
Okay, we
All the other
recommend
folks will.
Ray Hart.
I have
Thank
talked
you.
to Ray, and
Thank
Ray
you.
is interested, but I knew that the Selectman's office would do that.
Okay, great, thanks.
Capital
Clear.
Improvement Committee, I'd like to nominate Steve Harney to continue as the Board of Finance member to the Capital Improvement Committee.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? 5-0. Thank you. Down to C, audited financial statements, June of 2013, management comments.
I think we went over that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we did that.
She
Well,
moved
that
right
was
into that.
earlier
She
in the
just
meeting.
covered it in her report.
Part of the finance director.
Old business.
I just have one announcement, if I may, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
sir.
The announcement is that Kent Sester, who, as you know, served 30 years on the Board of Selectmen and has now served 33 years on the SEAT Board, which is Southeastern Area Transit District, is retiring from the board after all those decades of service, and there is a little reception, couldn't think of the word, to honor Kent at the Lake of Isles on January 22nd, which is next Wednesday, from 6:30 to 8:30. That is a Board of Selectmen meeting, so we'll have difficulties getting someone there, but I'm hoping to have some representation. I am out of the state for that particular day. I'm going down to a seminar for healthcare in Nashville. I hope to bring back some good ideas for our community. But I wanted to give you the opportunity, if anybody would like to go and represent our town at the Lake of Isles from 6:30 to 8:30, and honor Kent, who has done just a superlative job in all of the things he has done for our community. So we thank him publicly for that. Thank you, sir.
Old business, there is none. Public discussion, anybody from the public like to address the board? Seeing nobody from the public, we'll move on. Board comments?
Nice job, Steve.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.